Love a good IKEA hack? Here's 2 easy IKEA hacks that you can do this weekend. If you're looking for a great storage bench, then using the IKEA Besta is your best bet. I love that this looks totally seamless and built in. Plus, it's got so much storage for all your kids' games, books, and even more. The second IKEA hack is a beautiful shared desk that I made for my kids. This is a really small space, but I used a IKEA KALLAX and IKEA KALLAX units to build this desk to make it look really custom and built in. IKEA hacks are great for beginner DIYers, so let's jump in. I'm going to show you how I transformed the IKEA Besta drawer units into a stunning DIY built-in bench with storage. This project is perfect for creating a cozy window seat, a stylish reading nook, or even just an entry bench with extra hidden storage. I went with the white one to start with because I'm going to be painting this later, and I find that white is just a much easier base, but IKEA has lots of different colors in this, and some of the drawer fronts are actually really cool too. Next up, to make this look like a true built-in, I need to actually build a base. And I'm building a base that's 8 inches high, which is as high as my baseboards. Here we go. I just kept telling myself, don't break it, don't break it. So I tried to pull it off really gently. Success. Now we can add the bases in, and let's see how this little bench looks. After setting in the Besta units on top, I realized my base was too tall. Instead of a comfy window seat, I accidentally built a mini stage. Not what I was going for. To repurpose this wood, I just thought that I would flip this base on the side, and that way it would be just flatter. And it would still give a little bit of a built-in look, but I could actually touch my feet to the ground. I've never done any sort of scribing, but it wasn't too hard. I just traced the profile of the baseboard, and the scribing looks pretty good, but I think because my walls were not level, I actually had this little gap, so I just cut an extra piece of trim and filled it in. After we would fill it, no one would really be able to tell. I also need to add a couple of filler pieces to the sides of my Besta benches to make it look like a true built-in. You know, we don't want any of those awkward gaps. Do your best and caulk the rest. So whatever spaces you still have left over, don't worry about them too much. Just use your caulk to help fill in those gaps. To cut it down to the exact size of my bench, I used a bread knife. Yep, you heard right, a bread knife. It actually cuts through the foam really smoothly without any jagged edges. Next, I cut a piece of plywood to match the exact size of the foam. This plywood base will add structure and keep the cushion firm. I chose a thick, durable fabric in a neutral tone that complements my space. I placed the foam on top of the plywood, then wrapped the fabric around both, pulling it tight and securing it with my staple gun. This color is everything. I immediately knew that this was the color I needed to give the bench a high-end custom feel that I absolutely loved. Now, to make this look really high-end, I chose an oversized handle. I think this just looks so good with the green and the brass. I'm a huge fan of this color combination. This little sconce is so cute. I love how it really adds so much character to this little nook. As a reminder, here's this empty space I had in my living room. And this is it, a fully customized built-in IKEA Besta bench that looks high-end but was completely budget-friendly. I love how this turned out. It's stylish, it's functional, and it's perfect for extra storage. What do you think about the final result? Let me know in the comments. This week I'm going to show you how to make a custom-looking desk using just IKEA pieces. It's not complicated at all, and you don't need to be a huge DIYer. The first thing I did was map this out using painter's tape. It's an inexpensive way to make sure that your scale is correct. I'm using 2 KALLAX units as the legs for this desk. There's 2 things I love about this unit. The first one is that it's already the perfect height for a desk, so you don't need to make any adjustments. The second is that there is a ton of storage in this, so I struggled a bit with how I should actually configure the KALLAX drawer units. I wasn't sure if I should put them on the ends, which was way more aesthetic, or if I should put them in the middle so that the kids' elbows wouldn't bump into each other. A lot of people said that they should really have their own space, but I wanted to keep it more aesthetic. In the end, I kept it more aesthetic, and I like the look of the units on the end. I opted to use a piece of plywood for the desktop, and this is a 1/2-inch plywood piece that I cut to the right size and then stained it, and it just fit really nicely there. Okay, so we've got the bottom part of the desk station set up, and you could totally stop here if you wanted to, but I'm gonna add some vertical storage here with the IKEA KALLAX units. So there's gonna be one for each kid, and then maybe I might do something across the top here too. You could totally make your own cabinets, but when IKEA makes things that are so easy to assemble, I feel like this is just the easiest way to go. And then you can actually enhance them and make them look better. So these KALLAX units are really easy to assemble. I made two of them, one for each side, and then I brought them over to my kids' room and I placed them right on top of the desk. I built one KALLAX unit and it's gonna go from this end basically 3/4 of the way. And then I need to cut down my other unit so it fits in this corner here. I'm cutting down this KALLAX unit using my table saw. You could also use a circular saw to make sure that what I cut it to was a multiple of one of the sizes of the cube so that it looked uniform. And luckily when we dry fit it, it was perfect. Now I also need to mount these units, so I put up a support bar here just to help us to kind of hold the weight of the two cabinets while we're drilling and mounting them into the wall. I mean, this is really starting to come together. This is when I got really excited that this vision that I had of mine would come together. I also have to tell you the story about these doors. I had to remove the closet doors because there was no way for the doors to open once the desk would be installed. So after I removed them, we stored them underneath our mattress because in a small home, where else am I going to store things I don't need? And instead I installed curtains, but the internet hated them. On my social media, people just hated them. So then I actually decided to remove them and come up with a different solution. Lucky for me, my mom had these sliding panels lying around in her basement. They actually used to go on her patio door and she didn't want them anymore. And they were the perfect size, the right length, exactly for this closet door. I like these a lot better than the curtains. I think the colors flow a lot nicer in this room because the curtains just stood out too much and it looks a lot more seamless. To attach the molding, I need the molding to actually hold into something. So I mounted a piece of 2x4. This is just a scrap 2x4 that I had lying around in my garage. Now it's easy to attach this piece of trim to the 2x4s that I've attached. I can simply nail it right in. I also want to add some visual interest to the back of the desk area, but I didn't want to spend the money on shiplap because shiplap is a little bit expensive. So I had foreign trim lying around, so I decided I would just use that. And I used a nickel as a spacer in between to give that look of shiplap. There's a few final touches that I had to add, like painting, and I also added some lights so that my kids had extra lighting under the desk. I absolutely love how this desk space came together. I know that this is a desk that my kids will love and they will use all the time. And I also like how easy it was to put together using just IKEA pieces. I didn't have to spend a lot of time making shelves or making drawers. I hope you love this. I can't wait to see you build your own version of it. I'll see you next time for more DIYs.